Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Dave's Podcast along with a new video. So I took it upon myself to talk about a whole new topic. Um, be sure to check it out, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We are actually going to get back into music. So today we are going to talk about Unapologetic by Rihanna. So I had already talked about Auntie, which was her last recent album. I was gonna go, to the beginning, but then I said, you know what, we can take it back just a little bit. For those that were aware of this era, because this was a big deal too. But yes, be sure to check out Patreon. There will be new episodes soon. There will be new exclusive episodes that I will be making that will stem more into the background of things where it comes to different topics that I'll be talking more on, so be aware. But yes, let's get into it. So Unapologetic is the seventh studio album by Barbadian singer Rihanna. It was released on 19th November 2012, well, November 19th, by Def Jam Records and SRP Records. And be sure to drink water. It's hot. Just so you guys can just, be prepared for this summer. It was recorded between June and November 2012, so she didn't really have too much time with this album. So it kind of says a lot about how much music she may have made since 2016. It's been about 8 years. And, it's something because, this says it only took from June to November. So June is the 6th month, November is the 11th, so only 5 months. She can crank out an album at any given time. And that's why I feel like she's so anticipated for that reason, because it's like you took less time for each release. And it worked. As executive producer, Rihanna enlisted previous collaborators The Dream, David Guetta, Jason Status, and Stargate to work alongside new collaborators such as Parker Egile, Mike Will Made It, and Labyrinth. Unapologetic is primarily a pop, synth pop, and R&B album that incorporates elements of hip hop, EDM, dubstep, rock, and reggae, and its production merging the sound of her previous albums, Talk That Talk, which we'll talk about, Loud, which we also will talk about, and Rated R, which we also will talk about. Those are important as far as in her timeline. So we will actually from here possibly go further back than those albums to kind of reel ourselves forward, because with each release for artists, there are a lot of stories behind them. So Unapologetic received generally mixed reviews from critics, with some reviewers describing its music as interesting, while others criticized its weak lyrical content and rushed nature. The album won the Grammy Award for Best Urban Contemporary Album at the 2014 ceremony, while Stay was nominated for Best Pop Duo Group Performance. It debuted at number 1 on the US Billboard 200 with first week sales of 238,000 copies, becoming Rihanna's first number 1 album on the chart and best-selling debut week of her career. This was Rihanna's first number 1 album on the chart and best-selling debut week of her career. Okay. The album also became the singer's 3rd, 4th, and 5th consecutive number 1 album in the United Kingdom, Norway, and Switzerland, respectively. So overseas, they were just like number 1. But here, it took us a minute. All right, well, hey. According to the International Federation of the Phonographic Industry, it was the 9th global best-selling album of 2012 with sales of 2.3 million copies. As of December 2014, Unapologetic has sold over 4 million copies worldwide. The album produced 6 singles, including the international hits Diamonds and Stay. The former peaked at number 1 on the on both the UK singles chart and the US Billboard Hot 100, where it became Rihanna's 12th number one song, tying her with Madonna and the Supremes for fourth most number one songs in the history of the chart. Prior to its release, Rihanna promoted the album with the 777 tour, which consisted of a 7-day promotional tour in which she performed 7 concerts, each in a different city in North America and Europe in 7 days. To further promote the album, Rihanna embarked on her fourth worldwide concert tour entitled the Diamonds World Tour. I remember when the Diamonds World Tour had happened, and I can't say I didn't want to go to that tour. That was a time. But you know, I just didn't get to go. But yeah, the background of the album is in November 2011, Rihanna released her 6th studio album, Talk That Talk. The album was rooted in pop, dance, and R&B, but also incorporated a variety of other musical genres such as hip-hop, electro house, dancehall, and dubstep, a genre which was prominent on her 4th studio album, Rated R. Talk That Talk received generally positive reviews from contemporary music critics upon its release. It was a commercial success and reached the top 10 in over 20 national charts, including number 1 on the UK albums chart and number 3 on the US Billboard 200. The album produced 6 singles, including the worldwide hits "We Found Love" and "Where Have You Been." "We Found Love" topped the charts in over 25 countries and sold over 9 million copies worldwide, making it one of the best-selling singles of all time. In March 2012, Rihanna revealed that although she had not yet begun recording, she started working on the new sound for her next seventh studio album. So, yeah, she started to work with different people, and you know, they had stated that she works hard and it's cool to write for someone who is open-minded. And you know, it's something because a lot of artists are open-minded, though they will feel as though if they want to have creative control in certain ways, they'll do it, as an artist should. And you know, it's something with Rihanna because it was in such a short amount of time, you know, with most of her releases. So it's not even so much that she wasn't willing. She literally just was like, yes, like, okay, this works. No, this works. This. Like, she was in it, you know. And let's talk about the track list. Well, actually, yeah. She let's see here. Oh yeah, Def Jam France announced on Twitter that Rihanna would release a new single that upcoming week, while her 7th studio album was scheduled to be released in November 2012. However, the tweet was shortly deleted and replaced with another clarifying that more information will be made available tomorrow. Yeah, there was a sense of how they was trying to make sure they was flat out just saying this is when this is coming. I feel like a lot of artists at that time was still like learning that, because now when someone's ready to drop something, they will literally come out the cut and be like, hey, so I have a new song. It's gonna come out tomorrow. Can't wait for you to hear it. Like they just really just be out just like already having it just all mapped out, because in times like these, even 20 years ago in the 2000s, where it was just like, all right, well, there isn't a 20 yet, so how, all right, so MySpace, we got to post the playlist of the songs in there, and you know, let's see if we can have these different CDs be purchased. But you know, the times have changed now. Vinyls have been really taking over as much as CDs, but vinyls have been becoming a thing. Why not? But yes, let's talk about the songs. As far as critical reception, yeah, it wasn't taken as well as far as compared to Talk That Talk, as opposed to going number one, which I said to myself, huh, well, Talk That Talk didn't go number one like that, but Unapologetic did. But it received mixed to positive reviews. So it was like over time, they were feeling like, okay, this is a really good album. Like, what are we talking about? But in the beginning, they were like, I don't know. Yeah. Wait a minute. Wow. Yeah. Okay. I'm just looking at the fact that she really had went overseas. Like there was all these different um there was all these different countries. But yes, guys, so the track list is track 1, Fresh Out the Runway. Now, Fresh Out the Runway, you know, when that song starts, it's really like it just she just she brings you in. She brings you in, and then you get Diamonds as track 2, and you know, legendary song. And then you have Numb, which is track 3 with Eminem. I feel like this kind of tied in with their song Monster, and I Love the Way You Lie. You know, they had collaborations in the past before, so this was definitely tying in. Pour It Up, which was track 4, which, you know, that song turns you up, child. And I believe track 5, yes, is Love Song with about, wait, how many? I never really counted how many E's there were, but I think there's 7. And I think, yeah, it's 7. I think that's pretty cool that she did 7, because it's the 7th album. So there's 7 E's in the word love. But that's with Future. Then there's track 6, which is Jump. And then there's track 7, which is Right Now. Jump gives you a fusion of, you know, Pony, as opposed to its own song, by, you know, Genuine. Track 7, Right Now, of course, David Guetta is featured. What Now? Now, What Now, I wouldn't say it's too slept on, but it could have been listened a little bit more. Just a little bit more. As far as with Stay, that's a good song. It's been listened to a lot. I wouldn't say that it's slept on. It's a good song. It's a great song. Then there's track 10, Nobody's Business. And that features Chris Brown. So that was another thing that people were kind of shocked about at that time, was that, you know, 3 years prior, there was an incident between the two. And it comes out later on that it was a mutual thing. It just went a step further than where it had to, based off of accusations and insecurities. But, you know, it is what it is. They made up and they moved on. They're in their own worlds now. But yeah, over 12 years ago, that's what was going on. But then with track 11, Love Without Tragedy / Mother Mary, that was her just having clarity on whatever she was going to do, whatever she was feeling, I believe. But there's different meanings in that song. Get It Over With, which is track 12. Listen, yeah, whoever James Edward Flanchery is the second, his credits, he be going off, because there be certain songs that I'm still learning about certain people that write, and I'm like, oh my god, like they did that, like this is a good song. But Get It Over With is a great song. You know, if you like to smoke, something that you feel nice from. But then again, it could be a song that, you feel good, where you just have an intense high. You may just be feeling nice from just having a nice drink, or you feel nice from just feeling good, and you're not having to need any of that. You just feel good as a whole. There's a real thing about people that are just good. It may not even be popularized because there's always something bad going on, but there's good things that go on too. Then there's track 13, No Love Allowed. And then there's track 14, Lost in Paradise. Now, track 15 was a remix that came out exclusively. It was a bonus track on the deluxe edition. Well, exclusive edition. The deluxe edition had bonus tracks that were Half of Me, which also had the two other tracks that were remixes for Diamonds as well. But yes, great album. And it's something because, yeah, I was trying to understand why the album didn't, like, why other albums of hers didn't go fully number one. But we will read more into that. Maybe there were just other releases at that time. I will have to really look into that. But yes, you guys, as far as the charts, there was so many different chartings, but we'll go to the main ones that people are probably interested in. Australian Urban Albums number 1, Belgian number 2, Canadian Albums number 1. As far as French albums number 3, German 3, Greek albums 8, Irish albums number 1. Japan needed a little bit more time. Track number 11. Not track 11, number 11, guys. Sorry. But yes, there is South African albums. There is, yeah, as far as for the number, it would be number 5. Then there is the Swiss albums, which is number 1. UK albums, UK R&B albums, number 1. US and US top R&B is number 1. So she was definitely peeking into more people really getting into her music, as opposed to them reflecting back into what she's already done. And as of talking about Auntie, they were really understanding, like, wow, she's really had a lot of music out. Like, she has, like, albums and in such a concise and short amount of time. Well, yeah, for about 8 years or so. Besides, well, more than a decade, I should say. But yeah, that would be the end of our episode. I truly appreciate you guys watching and listening, and I'll be back with more.